Welcome back to the Deep Dig Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew. My other host right over there.
What's up? It's D. Good to see you again. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Drop some comments below. Let us know your thoughts.
All right, well let's talk about another quarterback that's getting talked about. I think either you're on one side or the other. You think he's going to be amazing, he's going to be the savior, or he's going to be awful. JJ McCarthy. Where do you sit on the spectrum of JJ McCarthy hype? Is he great or is he awful?
I'm dead set in the middle. I don't see it in JJ McCarthy as an NFL quarterback last year coming out of the draft. I didn't get the hype, but now I'm seeing all the hate that's coming out and I'm like, well, the masses were telling me that this guy was going to be ready, that this guy was looking so good in training camp, that this guy was about to take over the league. And now everyone's pivoting and being like, oh, JJ McCarthy is going to be trash. It was like, okay, which one is it here? So I'm dead set in the middle of this. I'm TBD on what I think. Personally, last year I didn't like it because he was in an offense where he was not asked to do a whole lot. He was in an offense at Michigan where it was hand the ball off, hand the ball off, hand the ball off, and I'm going to throw it maybe 13 times a game, and that's going to be it. That's all I'm going to do. And I know that the hardball hype train really got him kind of where it was. I just based off the odds of where we're at, you know what I mean? Of Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix, Bo Nix. Someone's got to be a bust here. And it's either Penix or it's JJ McCarthy the way it's trending. Or it's going to be Caleb Williams. We're going to be on. One of those three is going to be the biggest bust out of this. I don't think that it's fair to judge JJ McCarthy based off of his first practices back off of a major injury over a year out of football. The last time we seen him, he was coming off of all the stuff that the rookies have to do to get ready for the draft, and then he goes out there in training camp and gets majorly injured. So that's not a whole lot of prep for football. And then now he's coming off a major injury. So I don't think it's fair to judge him just based off of a couple of practices.
I think it's completely fair to judge him off a couple of practices, not because of who JJ is, but because of the way the team and the coaching and the players have all hyped him up to a crazy extent. They've talked about this guy like he's Patrick Mahomes. They'd be like, oh yeah, what JJ can do on the field, we're hyped. You guys are not ready for what we can see from JJ. He can make all the throws, blah, blah, blah. When it's a guy, we didn't even think he was a great passer in college. Yes, he won the Natty, but he barely threw the ball. And he was definitely not asked to throw the ball on third down over and over again in tight situations. They were a dominant defense with a dominant run game. And coming into the draft, he climbed like crazy. It was one of those things where we were sitting there being like, is he really going to go in the first round? We thought he should be a fourth-round quarterback, third-round quarterback. And he snuck up into the first. Now he's coming off a year off injury. And you're expecting him to step into a situation for a team that for a lot of the season was the number one seed. They won a lot of games and they had a quarterback that was in talks for the MVP until he fell apart at the end. So I think they've put him in a tough spot where we have to judge him critically. We have to assess if he's going to be the future because this is a year that they could win. They can make a deep playoff run if they had the right quarterback. They're set up for that.
And that's the thing, that you're judging him now, okay, based off of what you've seen last year and how peak this offense can be. And I think that's more of the conversation rather than, okay, do you believe the hype of JJ McCarthy being this guy? Or do you think he is going to be up to the level of NFL vet Sam Darnold? You know what I mean? Who you just had walk.
But that's the thing.
I think that's a better conversation.
They committed to him in this situation. He could have paid Sam Darnold and tried to get a 3-year, 2-year deal worked out to then transition over. Or they could have brought in someone. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was interested. Slow work.
There's
JJ
no way you
back
bring in
in.
Aaron.
But they could have done something. Instead, they went all in on this kid, coming off a full year of not playing and coming into where he wasn't asked to be the guy throwing the ball in a high flying offense in college. And now we're saying, here's all these weapons, go fling it. And I just don't see, I didn't see it coming in for him. I don't see it now. And I think I'm going to be critical of it until I see that he's going to be the guy for them.
It's interesting. I mean, it makes you think, what, where would you rank Sam Darnold in the league? You know what I mean? Where do you rank him? Like, do you rank him the 15th best the 16th best quarterback? Like, where do you rank him? And if you're going to rank
around
him
15.
there, okay, and if you're going to rank him there, do you think that all other like 14 quarterbacks are going to have the same season if they're dropped into the Minnesota Vikings offense? Like, then it's like, okay, well, if they're not, then we got to start moving Sam Darnold up. And then if you think that if JJ McCarthy goes out there and has a worse season, which he more likely is going to have a worse season than Sam Darnold, and you're hoping to get back to that point, it's like, okay, what is this guy's ceiling really? What is his ceiling? If his ceiling is not the 15th best quarterback in the league, then we have a problem here. We wasted a first round pick. We wasted a guy that was in here running this offense perfectly. Then I understand it's upsetting to have let him go. I think right now in training camp, it's not fair to assess that, but I understand the context to which we're speaking in this conversation. Again, I don't think that it's fair to shit on him after a major injury and being like, oh, he's looking like he's throwing ducks in practice. Yeah, he's figuring out how to work his new leg.
Yeah, I mean, I think the sad part is they might move off from him after this year if he doesn't produce I want to say, at least make playoffs, maybe win a playoff game. Like, he needs to have a great year in what's essentially his rookie season, because then you're looking at your coach and you're looking at your GM like, guys, we were a team that should have been the 1 seed last year. We thought we could compete with the best teams, and now look at us. We're not even making playoffs. We're not even able to compete in a playoff game. So I think, do you go into next season being like, okay, do we continue with this and another year of Justin Jefferson's prime, another year with our coach right here, like, or do we go for a veteran talent to try to go better, to try to have a better offensive season? So it's all really going to depend on how far JJ can take them.
And it's a quarterback heavy draft next year.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
is a very quarterback. It would have
You
been
look at him,
different
and if he's mediocre, are you like, listen, the guy who coming in, who's going to be the 10th pick in the draft, is miles ahead of this guy.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it really sucks that he missed out his rookie season, because if that draft class would have been like next year's draft class, you're not having this conversation. You're like, okay, you know what, JJ is better than your. I think he'd be like, okay, I'd take JJ over Cam Ward. I think that's a viable option. You can kind of squint your eyes and do that. You can be like, okay, I'll take JJ over Kyle McCord. You know what I mean? Like, I can do that. But doing it over Arch Manning, doing it over Garrett Nussmeier, doing it over, like, you know what I mean? There's so on and so forth. There's a bunch of quarterbacks in this draft. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough if he doesn't go out there and light it up.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So I think this just comes back to the conversation we were having all of last season is, should you have signed Sam Darnold? Because my whole thing is, why are you going to bet your career, bet your house on an unknown entity when you have Sam Darnold in-house, especially at the quarterback? I like to have, if a guy's competing and playing well at quarterback, why are you going to let him go and not have a security blanket for something that's unknown at quarterback? So I think they should have, like halfway through that season, they should have cut a deal for Sam Darnold. And I know your take at the time was like, well, you have JJ McCarthy, so you won't really need him. I think it's a mistake. I think you have to play with the hot hand, and things like this change all the time. Kirk Cousins outplayed RG3 and injuries hurt him. So we're going to roll with Kirk Cousins from then on. Like, Mike Vick was outplaying McNabb. Like, there's situations. Russell Wilson was a guy where they gave money to Matt Flynn and he outshined him, so let's go with him. I think at quarterback, if you find something that's working, you stick with it.
I just think it's tough. I think you have to figure out like what you have in this first round guy. Again, as we were talking about Jackson Dart, I'm fine with giving them a year off, but now it's a year off coming off injury, you have to understand what you have in JJ McCarthy. I don't think that Sam Darnold was a viable option, especially if you think he is anywhere between the 15th and like 18th best quarterback. If you think other people could have stepped in there and had that season and then shit the bed in the last 2 games, then yeah, you know what? We'll go ahead and we'll roll with Joe Blow. Or next year, we will trade for Jameis. We'll do something like that.
But here's the thing, he had him playing at a top 5 quarterback level last year for a while. And so you said, I've seen what the highs are with Sam Darnold, where Kevin McConnell can take him, but no, I think JJ can surpass that. And so that's why I'm going to judge JJ McCarthy on that scale, because you're saying, I saw how good we can be with Sam. I think JJ is going to do it better.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is coming off of like the training camp and Justin Jefferson talking and being like, "Hey, he's not the player today that he will be later on." And everyone was like, "Dang, that's code for he sucks." Like